God, it's way too hot to be graduating today, boys. The horrendously hot weather has returned, and I do not envy those people in their big black gowns and suits. Ugh. It's almost bad enough for me, you know, and I've just got trousers on and rolled up sleeves. I think for the next couple of days it's going to start creeping up to be really warm and humid at night again, and it's like 28 degrees in the day, which is codename too hot. Be prepared to hear me moan about it, ladies and gentlemen. So much so that I've already restarted today's video. I filmed a load of stuff this morning, well, not a load of stuff, but I filmed enough stuff this morning. I thought I've started this video to the wrong tone. Let's liven it up again. I woke up this morning feeling relatively lethargic. I had kind of a hangover from my feelings of last night, where I was kind of like just frustrated at stuff and not really wanting to do things. I didn't really feel like work or whatever. But we had a pretty good day today. We fixed a couple of issues. I'm trying to flush some cold air through this flat because it's so hot. Thinking about getting the fan down, but haven't decided yet. We fixed a couple of things inside. We got the story deployed. Happy birthday there. We got things tested. I fixed a couple of issues. I fixed a couple of bugs that were coming out of JavaScript, which is good. I also had a career development meeting where I've chosen the objectives of getting more au fait with UI development, both MVC and JavaScript stuff. Learn more about what the company does, because I don't really know. Good, because our team is relatively sheltered from the rest of the company, which is good, development stuff. The Scrum team should be kind of kept in the dark. We don't need to know it, so it doesn't filter down to us. But it does mean that I basically don't know what people do in the general vicinity around me. So there's that, and then also I'm going to get more involved in interviews and stuff, and become, instead of being like a backup interviewer, I'm going to be in a position where I can do it independently myself if I need to, backup by backup basis, I guess. So otherwise though, I'm back. Laura's gone to thingy. I am just getting my NuGet packages replicated around. I'm referencing it in my other project, but the problem is that the NuGet package doesn't support the right version of .NET Framework. It supports standard 1.6. I needed to support framework 4.6.2 as well, both at the same time. I'm sure it can do both. I've just got to figure out basically how to flip that setting. Figured out what the problem was. It was between the keyboard and the chair. It was me. I forgot the way the references work. I was basically saying I'm this NuGet package. I was supporting .NET Standard 1.6, but what I really want to do is I want to say you can reference anything that's a higher standard than you, but higher standard can't reference back. Of those, whichever way round makes sense. I was doing the opposite. So I was basically saying I'm .NET Standard 1.3 and above is what I thought I was saying, but actually what I was saying is I'm up to 1.3, nothing higher. So anything above me couldn't reference down. No, I think up can reference down. No, what it is 2.0 allows you to reference down, but yeah. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm just going to go fucking balls to the wall, and I'm going for .NET Standard 2.0 instead. Because it's the future, boys. If you're not on the bleeding edge, then what's the fucking point? What the point is? The point is that the bleeding edge hurts. There's blood loss everywhere. Who knows the problem though? Basically, I have created, my projects are all created using .NET version 1.6.2, which isn't very well supported, surprisingly. And what I should be doing is actually targeting 4.6.1, which means that I'll get all the features that I want and stuff without, I'm kind of for some reason, my default setting is a preview, and then that's kind of screwing me over and stuff, so I need to fix all my shizness. I need to be a little bit more careful and pay a little more close attention, because it's not just a solid .NET Core project. I've got issues where Service Fabric needs to be certain frameworks, and different parts of the program need to be .NET Core, some things need to be ASP.NET, some things have to be standard, etc. I'm going to try and make things as flexible as possible and then look to upgrade them in the future, instead of trying to upgrade them now when they're not ready to be upgraded. So the things that can be .NET Core, i.e. the websites, some of the DLLs, whatever, some of the basic stuff, can be all .NET Standard. That's cool. .NET Core, basic things that are going to be reused by everything, .NET Standard. Cool. .NET Core is going to be things like the website, things like the tests, all that malarkey, and then the things that are important, the things that need to be a full fat, i.e. Service Fabric, stuff like that. What I need to do though is, instead of flicking between .NET Core, which is standard 1.6, and Service Fabric 4.6.2, which isn't a .NET standard 1.6, it's not even 1.5, it's not even a standard. It's really weird to roll back to something else. So what it looks like I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be targeting .NET standard 1.4, which is much more in line with Service Fabric, which means I shouldn't have half of these compatibility issues that I've been having. But yeah, I've basically discovered this when I'm starting to try and reference this other project that I just created automatically. Tried to reference that via a NuGet package in a different project which I created automatically, but it's .NET Core, and then it can't reference the 4.6, and it's a bit of a fucking mess. I'm going to generate a list of all of the key pieces of technology that I use, the ones that I'm like wedded to. Make sure I know what framework they're on, and I'll keep a track on it. So if one of them updates, say the thing that's keeping me on standard 1.4 updates to 1.6, and the rest are all on 1.6 and above, then I can update all of my services to 1.6. Everything that references things that are 1.6 become 1.6. Happy birthday. It's got to be said, the versioning in .NET is not clean. Why is it always so much quieter on a Thursday than it is any other day? Why Friday might be quiet, but I don't get why Thursday is, unless it's just because it's going to be really hot today, so people have just taken it off, or working from home, working. Lunch today, considering how warm it is, I'm not going to be heading on outside because that's lunacy. What I'm going to be doing is going to be having a whale of a time. I'm going to be setting up a note in my project notes folder, which keeps track of all of the things I was saying yesterday about technologies I'm wedded to, i.e. well, I guess I'm not really massively wedded to anything, but things like Service Fabric, all the important stuff, as long as there are alternatives to the ones that I use, but where possible. Basically every single thing I use, I want to keep a track of what it supports, so that I can basically go to the lowest common denominator. And if there are anything that isn't supported well enough, then that unfortunately gets dropped. I have to find something else to replace it for now. I think there are ways, there are several like relatively easy ways where you can just bulk convert a full fat framework into a thingy. What I want is for .NET Core 2.0 to be fully released. At that point it'll be really easy. At the moment it's like a preview, and I was trying to use preview yesterday, but it's a bit too buggy. Especially because it's using a pre-release version of Visual Studio, which is not great. Oh, this must be the evening one. What kind of bird is this? I see them all over the place. Is it just a babby seagull? Or is it a different bird? So it's cool. Also, the University of Bath security guard gave me a right dirty look then. I tried to walk, I didn't try to, I was looked as if I tried to walk through like the line. There's obviously like the queue of the people going in, they're like professors and like lecturers and shit. But there's like a gap in the middle of them, and I'm just like walking towards that gap, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't. Veered to the left, and then I saw this security guard, and he's like, we're only lecturers, mate. They don't pay you enough to defend them. Jesus. Pretty good day today though, ladies and gentlemen. We were doing bugs, we were doing UI stuff, we were getting things through and tested, all grand. Much so that I basically forgot that it was 5 o'clock. And I only realised it was 5 o'clock because my toggle timer stopped, and gave me a notification saying it stopped. But yeah, so I've had a very productive day, ladies and gentlemen. We have finally sorted out my video. I seem to be getting into the swing of doing videos on Thursdays. It just seems to be the day I render it and upload it. I don't know why that is. Genuinely not deliberate. It just seems to be the way. I think it's because like yesterday I have like a big chunk of time I can do programming when Laura's not around, and today I do the video basically. It's weird. I also finished off the things I was working on my project, so I can now officially move on. I had some problems with authentication in Visual Studio Online because it's all going through my Windows account, my Microsoft account. At work, it's all driven from my Windows account, which is a lot easier to configure. So I've like had a load of issues that I didn't previously have because my Git wasn't connected. I couldn't push up from the command line. I could only do it from Visual Studio, which was authenticated. I had to do it, but trying to do it from the command line, which some things you need to do, like it's just like, what's your username and password? I'm like, this is my email address. This is my email address's password. Why is that not correct? And I have to set up like an API key, and it was It was a shit fest. And then it just forgets the API key all the time. So I had to figure out how to install a credentials manager so it would do that. It was a party in the park. I also now have the Service Fabric stuff is all on the version that it should be, and they can now all talk to each other and reference each other, and it's all happy days. Basically, don't get caught up on being on the latest and greatest framework, just wait for things to progress, do it like a business would, and only take the latest thing when it's ready. But obviously I want to keep a very close eye on when those things become ready, so that I don't fall behind too bad, but for now, all is good. All this pre-release bullshit unless it's really, really necessary. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty late. But I was configuring things and I actually forgot to hit upload on my YouTube video, and I just left myself on the upload page. Didn't even click like to start uploading. So I had to stay up an extra half hour just to sort that out. Taken to listening to the radio now in the morning, so I just walk into the living room and ask Google to put the radio on for me, because I'm cool like that, and it's much better. It feels like you wake up more rather than just like kind of sat eating your cereal, watching breakfast, watching BBC News, you know what I mean? Just feel more like ready to go and all that. The only problem is you do lose track of time a little bit. I very nearly pushed myself late today by leaving 7 minutes later than I should have. Luckily it's Friday, so the traffic is a little bit less, so I'm still on time, but can't do that on a normal weekday. I have to set up some kind of automatic like timer jobber to behave. Also, remind me when it's 25 past, bro. No graduations going on today. Also, they've moved all this out. Thank God, you don't have to fucking bottleneck through here anymore. You clearly do, but yeah, hopefully that gets finished soon. It's a solid, productive day today to sign off the week. Planning went well, everything went well, got everything deployed, pushed through, tested fine. Happy days, we've got the next one ready to be deployed and tested on Monday. Top quality stuff. Out for lunch as well, with Dibs and the new UI guy, which I interviewed last week. Really cool. He's a top fit for the team. Good choice, Jamie. And yeah, so it's been a pretty good day to like wrap it up. It's going to be strange next week though, because two main people aren't going to be around. I'm going to be the most experienced person on the team, i.e. I've been there the longest. But also, not only that, it'll be me and the two people I hired, and that's it. It's going to be weird, but we've like planned everything, everything's planned, it's all good. There's a chance that my computer's going to be taken away from me for a day, so someone else, to be updated and whatnot, so someone else has left me their laptop so I can use theirs in my computer's absence. So one of them really hot days where I unfortunately have to go and get my hair cut and melt. Oh, bloody hell, I'm literally like, whew, thank God that's done though. Laura's currently getting her haircut too, so I'm just gonna wait for it. I don't want to go and get a cold drink, but I've also kind of got to wait for Laura, who hasn't even started a haircut yet. So I'm going to be in town for a fucking while. I didn't have anything I want or need to do or anything. I'm just killing time. Laura's got like a package to pick up and to get a haircut. I was like, I'll get my haircut too. Because it's about time in a way. Normally there's a queue at my hairdresser's, so I thought that she'd be finished about, like, it wouldn't be too much of a difference. But it looks like it might be like a fucking hour or something. Jesus. I am going to go and take a casual look around Pride. I think it's the Pride Festival thing is just over there, and I'm going to have a walk, which is a bit dangerous really. So there's going to be lots of like nice cold ice cream and lots of like food that's going to make me really hungry, and then I've got to wait for Laura, so it's just like kind of teasing me, but we're going to see what's going on, what's kicking about. It's fucking busy. Is it ticketed? A bit too hot and a bit too busy for me, boys. Also, I find it really interesting how quickly people like capitalise on things like Pride. Companies jump at the opportunity to release their logo in like the rainbow flag, and then just like random stalls of people selling like glitter for £3. Like, fuck me, man. Swan boys. I keep seeing what I imagine are like school trips where all of the like kids walk around in like a school themed backpack. I'm like, where do these people get these backpacks? I never had a trip like that. A hell of a time jump, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long busy day. I was waiting for Laura for ages, literally ages. Then we wandered around, we got ourselves some food and a drink, because it was blooming hot. Like the temperature, it was hot. It was nice like around the river and then the harbour side and whatnot. But as soon as you stepped away from that, it was just like the temperature kicked up. It was so muggy. So much so that we came home and I started to get like, I was starting to build up my headache from the heat and stuff, and from like walking around for so long. We also went to the Chinese supermarket and we bought some sushi stuff, so we've got some nori and things like that, which we're excited about making tomorrow. But yeah, so basically after all of that we came back and we both fell asleep because I was like, had a headache. I'm like trying to lie down. I wanted to do some work, but I'm like, I'm going to try and get rid of this headache first. So we both fell asleep watching the Formula 1 highlights. But 7 and then had like bits and like sandwiches and whatnot instead of a dinner, which dinner's now been pushed to tomorrow. And yeah, it's been a long day. So because of that, basically, I'm now like relatively energised. I've slept off my headache and I'm like pumped. So more or less since about 8 o'clock, it's now 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, I think not quite 8. Basically, for a long time now I've just been programming. I've just set up, I think, 3.5 hours in total with a gap in the middle. I've just set up the basic MVC, basically cloned my public web front end and put it into my security, made a security service and got that all set up. What I'm going to be doing tomorrow is investigating, implementing Identity Server 4. I am acutely aware of like not only how much work I have to do on my project and already how little time I feel like I have to do that work, but also of all the things that I also need to do in order to get this running. Like I need actual websites and actual things set up and things in Azure and business stuff and all that malarkey. For a time I was trying to set up a blog as well, which I have currently thought of a new blog post for because of a thing that I've just done for my login stuff. But yeah, that's that, isn't it? I've got a backlog of blogs that I could release. They're just a bit, well, not necessarily out of date, but they're a bit behind the times now. There's like things, like I want to try and find times for some exercise every now and again. I feel like I just sit around at my desk and maybe just walk around. I just walk. I don't walk a lot, but I just walk, and that's like my only exercise. But then I'm also know that any time that I have, I get gobbled up by this project, and still I'm not feeding it enough, you know. We're having a sushi sundae. We've just made our sushi rice, which is there, nice and sticky, as you can tell by it stuck to the spoon. There's some carrots, cucumber, pepper, crab sticks, wasabi, smoked salmon. Laura's prepped that. Ready?
Yep.
Woo! Oh yeah.
And there we go. They're the ones that we're saving because we're full.
I would film that, but you'd be absolutely amazed how sticky that rice is. It's insane. It's gonna. We're not gonna be able to get rid of it. It's gonna stay in that tub for the rest of time. It's really bad. But yeah, so we've just had loads for lunch. And then we've just saved half the second batch for later on in the day. Wash up to do now. We had ourselves a nice chilled out day today as we were working from home. I was up early-ish, mainly because, you know, my alarm, I've got like a do not disturb thing which turns on so I don't get notifications overnight. But I don't have a separate setting for the weekend. So yeah, my phone just started getting tweets from people on Twitter, obviously. Otherwise, today I've been churning through some work. I've been trying to add Identity Server 4 to my project. I've managed to get the authentication login screen up and running. I haven't got any of the I've got most of it configured, but I don't even have a database for it to talk to yet, which I need to do tomorrow. It's been productive. I had a good 4-hour stint on it. Although I did realise that I misnamed my project, which was, because I'd spelled it wrong. And renaming a project in Visual Studio is a bit of a pain in the arse. Basically, today's been that, the general Sunday jobs, and then sushi. We've been living the dream. In reference to the blog that I was setting up, I'm thinking about putting some blog posts on Medium, and then trying to use that to kind of inspire a thing. Because I got into a discussion recently about logging and stuff with people on Twitter, and I feel like it's something I could write a little blog post about. So I think I might start up a Medium blog. I think the problem is my current blog is too connected to my main channel on YouTube, which I don't use anymore. It's basically doesn't exist. Kind of want a more technical one. I'm thinking about what I want to do is I want to kind of have two on the same web page, whereas one is more of a tech blog, one's more of a personal blog, and I'll selectively pull down the ones that I want from my old blog, then close that down, cherry pick the good ones, put them on there, then carry on like partially blogging stuff, and then I'll have like a business tech one on the other side. That's the plan, but I don't have time to make the blog itself, so I'm thinking about using Medium and just putting the technical blogs on there, and then I can cross-port them back over. But we'll see how it goes. It will have to be like my actual tech blogs. My own technical blog might be more kind of like to do with my projects and all that kind of stuff, whereas they'll have to be on Medium. They'd have to be like a standalone blog that can't have like any affiliate. Well, obviously will be affiliated with me, but I can't like make references like I could on my own blog or what have you. Oh, it looks like I've been bitten on my wrist. Yeah, so anyway, we should really head to bed. What I should also do, because this video is crazy long already, is catch you later.